It is now time for the 920 section. How to make effective and useful club visits, and that will run consecutively with how to make area director reports easy and useful. How many of you in the room feel that area director club visit reports are your favorite thing to do?
I like reading them.
You would.
No, do you hear the comment in front from a division director? Say it louder, Joe.
I like reading them.
These are not.
The earlier they are done for the first one allows me to know what training the club officers need for the next TLI.
And Phil will also be talking about how to get these done, because these actually get read. So we'll get the area director reports at the end of this. Please help me welcome the division, incoming Division A director, currently she's Area 12 director, Zboralski.
How many of you are new area directors for this next year? Good. I was hoping to have a good amount of new directors coming in. When I started as area director last year, I attended this meeting and I came out of it going, I'm not certain if I really know what I'm going to be doing for the next year. My division director, Lizette, was wonderful and said, please, any questions you have, give me a call. We'll talk about it. She had a division meeting with all of us, which kind of helped us go, oh, okay. And she had been a division director the year before. I also had several other division directors that I could observe in action throughout the year. And the thing I wanted to do today is introduce those of you who are new to it to some things I wish I had known coming out of this meeting last year. The first thing you're going to get today as you turn through the pages is the list of clubs that are in your area. From that, how do you know what those clubs are like? A lot of
It's in section 1.
Section 1.
It's called the alignment document.
Okay. The club alignment
They're not numbers.
document.
I think it's the first thing in section 1.
It is the first page.
Yeah. And
There's
it's a
3
table.
reminders. Feel free to pull the page out if you want to write.
And that was very useful when I started to think about what I was going to do this next year as Area 12 Director. What are the clubs in my area? In the grid, you can see what clubs you're going to be assigned to or you are assigned to. I didn't know then that the best thing I could do is go to the Toastmasters website and look up information about the clubs. I had done it for my own club as the BPE, but didn't put the connection together until after I had done it a few times going, oh, I need to go to Talk of Tacoma and find out who they are, what they're about.
This one, right?
Yes, so I went to the division and area webpage and I go, oh, here's Area 12. All these clubs weren't there when I was started last year. We added a new club. Talk of the Avenue was suspended at the time and came back in August after my term had started. And so then I had to go, oh, now there's another club I have to go to. And being a suspended club is really important as an area director to go there. So then I would look across here and they have their members. And so when we think about our own club strength, that also applies to the clubs that you're going to go visit as area director. What is their strength? So I've got, now these are the numbers that are going to pretty look close to when you guys take over the next year, July 1st. This member number may be the same, it might be slightly more, because the April membership dues have been paid. But we're also in the end of the year membership drive, so we're hoping, I'm hoping, that these 18s, 19s, 16s boost up to 20.
What does the base number mean? The base membership, I saw that on our website.
Hold on a second. You can see a little bit better on this page.
Yeah. So this is where they started the year.
As of July 1.
Last
okay.
year, and this is where they are now
Gotcha.
in June.
Thank you.
Okay, so wherever this number ends up at the June 30th will be the base number for next year.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, so looking at this is, okay, here, we still have some work to do in June. But when I started July with Area 12, Brett will be Area 12 director, he will have this number to begin with when he looks at his clubs. And this club is going to move to 13. So those are some of the things. Look at the chart you have in your book. That will be your area descriptions as of July 1.
And what the chart in your book is, will be effective July 1, but it probably won't be up on the website until the middle of July.
Right. Okay. So use that information to find out a little bit about your club before you plan your visits. Plan contacting them. You don't have to contact them until after the 1st of July. I recommend. Somebody else recommended going early.
I recommend that myself. Visit them
somebody
with no
mentioned
agenda.
I've been area director and division director. Go early in the very beginning, meet them. This is not going to be your first
Right.
official visit. Let them know who you are, talk to them, say, this is who I am. How may I support you in your club and your
Right.
goals?
Yeah, and I'll get to that later. But this is just the first start. So you want to know who the club is, how to get there. Go to their website, so you can Google them. You can try to find if they're on Meetup. You can go to see if they have a Facebook page. Find out what their presence is to the public.
Can I add a wrinkle to what Carolyn just said?
Yes.
If you're the incoming area director, call up the outgoing area director and say, would you come with me to visit the 4 clubs I'm taking over and introduce me to them?
I actually challenge the outgoing area directors, if they are going to be next year's division directors, if they're here, to take their replacement for their area to those clubs sometime in the next month. It gives a nice transition from what was and what will be. And I think that would really help clubs, especially the ones that are struggling. The ones that are really strong, they're going to welcome whoever comes anyways.
So the S and the P that are above,
Let me find one that has.
they all say zeros, but some of the clubs have met their goals.
So yeah,
don't have
so
court
here's,
transfer.
up here in this doesn't show it on there. This is the
But if you
division.
go back to your division,
Right.
Click on a,
you've got some that have 8 goals met,
They don't
so.
have the membership.
So they
this
don't have
is-
the membership goal.
Oh,
It's
so
called
the membership goal
qualification.
is the,
That's the trigger.
Oh,
Anything.
So, let
okay,
me move along.
sorry.
Okay, so find out who your club is, what their presence is, and then on their location. If you're gonna go visit, look up their location. Are you gonna have to consider parking on the street? Do they have a parking lot at their facility? How are you going to physically get there and get into their meeting on time? Some areas you might have to pay for parking on the street. Consider those things before you make your first visit. And then when you're planning that, then you have enough time to deal with feeding the meter, going back to your car, put the sticker on, whatever you need to do. When you click into these, this is really nice, just pick a club,
I'll
pick
pick
a
a
club.
club. Okay.
When you click on the club from this page, then you see their information a little bit more specifically. So then you look at the goals met, or the goals to try to achieve their membership, and then you can go down and see that, have they met any of their goals? So that's a good introduction to what you're gonna find as far as that club is going in the membership achievements. So then you have a little bit of information going in before you meet the club and meet their officers, and you have something to ask them about, talk to them about when you meet them. This is your Distinguished Club Progress Chart. It's easy to get to on any given day. A day or two at the,
They run all the updates overnight, and usually by 10 in the morning, it's been updated.
yeah, and there's a little time delay right around the year change and then when the membership payments are being processed.
If I could just mention, you do not have to log into the Toastmasters International website to access the DCP, the Distinguished Club Program goals that Lori's talking about. So you can actually research those clubs now.
Yes, you can. But granted, the membership numbers, the base and the where they're gonna be is going to change on July 1, so you're gonna see a different chart. Other things that if you can find out is, you may find out on their webpage or their Facebook page how long they've been in existence. You can also figure that out a little bit by their club numbers. Very small numbers are older clubs, very large numbers are newer clubs, so that gives you a little clue about how long they may have been in existence. They also have the charter date. That really came to light this year where one of my clubs had celebrated their 25th annual celebration. They actually had a party for it, and they recognized a Lifetime Achievement member, a Toastmaster of the Year, and celebrated a couple people getting their CC this year. So having that kind of information, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, you can be a part of or encourage them to have a celebration when they meet at benchmark years. Part of knowing this, you'll also get access to their officers list. I highly recommend going into that right away and finding out if they have an email, find their phone numbers. Consider sending an introductory email where you introduce yourself. I'm your area director. I will be coming to visit you. I will be supporting you throughout the year, and if you have any questions at this point, let me know. I plan to come and meet with you and leave it at that.
Also, that way you find out who's got bad email addresses, so when
Yes.
you're trying to wrangle people for club contests, you're not getting emails bounced back and you're in a crunch.
Right. And the one thing I did find out about my suspended club at that time is their officer list at the time was not correct. And so I was sending emails to people who weren't in the club, and the person that I thought was the president was not the president, and I think because of their suspension, they didn't get the officer rolls updated in time for the list I had at that time. It's been corrected now.
FYI, on the District 32 website, d32.toastmastersdistricts.org, that's the old one, we're building a new one, Alex.
Yay.
But on here, there are division pages, and if you go to the division page, at the bottom is a listing of the clubs.
And this is handy too. This is very handy.
You'll see the division area directors listed, we'll have to update all that, and then for each of the clubs, if they have a club-wide website, it's linked here. If they have a Facebook page, it's linked here, but some of them don't. And this is a way in to figure out where it is that, you know, if you go to their website and they don't have their club meeting place in time, there's something wrong.
And that's some of the information you're gathering as you're planning your visits to the club. So you've emailed the officers. You may or may not have received a response. Hopefully you have from the president or VPE. This is the beginning of building trust with that club's officers. After you've either gotten a response, or if you haven't gotten a response, call them. Call the president, call the VPE, you know, go down the line and introduce yourself, try to get a response from them. And just say, I plan to meet your club, I would like to come to your next meeting, or whichever one you fit into your schedule.
Until July 1st or the 15th, whenever they get all the district officers updated, at that point, you'll be able to go onto the TI website and download all the club information for your area or division. Until then, you can check with me or Kyle. We have the full list. And I talked with TI just this past week, and they said, yeah, you can release that early to people that are, so you can get all their email addresses, all their phone numbers, the whole 9 yards. By asking, who knows my email address? mmarion@worldvision.org. World Vision's all one word.
I think I'm done with the webpage. So can I
Okay.
jump back to the PowerPoint? And we're going to skip several slides.
Okay?
There we go, we just did that one. Okay. Responsibilities of the area directors are to visit the clubs, a minimum of 2 times a year, and then generate a report for each of those visits. The first visit needs to be in the first half of the year, and the report due by November 30th. And the second half of the year, the report is due by May 31st. That's the minimum. When I addressed my area clubs, I said, I committed to try to be there once a month. Now, that didn't work out, but that was my goal, something I could check mark. And it helped me build trust with those clubs. Being there regularly, they knew that Toastmasters was supporting them as a club. They could count on me to give them news, to help them through what they needed to be helped through, to give awards, be there to present awards, to share information on contests, to encourage them to participate in the area and district contests. They knew that Toastmasters was invested in them. That's the minimum, is 2 per year. I encourage you to do more. Next slide.
What are the due dates again? I'm sorry for the report.
So the reports are due November 30th and May 31st.
And don't wait till the end to do it, because area directors all around the world will be entering reports on November 29th and 30th, and the system slows down and it crashes. Do your reports early.
I strongly suggest to make a visit, your first visit, in July-ish. First, a couple of things that you want to do in that first, you want to arrive early, you want to assess a club just like you're going to a brand new club. You want to be, you're a guest in your club. Is somebody welcoming you at the door? Is the sergeant of arms got the room set up? Do all those things that you want when your club is holding a meeting that your guests are going to see. Assume that the area director is going to want, is the new guest. As Toastmasters, if they have roles to fill, participate in them. Share area and division news. The upcoming speech contest is a big one to share at your first visit, hopefully in July. And think of this visit as you are now truly a guest of that meeting. You're going in there and thinking of that club as, what is my first impression when I step into this meeting? Has somebody greeted me? Has somebody made sure that I understood the agenda? Has somebody asked who I am? Of course, being a Toastmaster, we know what they should be doing or generally should be doing. So we should feel comfortable, and we hope that they have greeted us. If they haven't, introduce yourself to somebody. Try to find out who the president is. If the president isn't there that day, what other officers are there that day, and introduce yourself. Phil is going to go through the area divisions, the area report, visit report. These are what we're looking at when we go into their club. The first visit, try to remind your officers that you've talked to before you've attended that this is generally informal. You want to get a feel for them. You want them to trust you. You don't want them to be putting on a good show because today the area director is here. You want them to know that this is the way a meeting always runs. I've been to a couple meetings where it turned out to be 4 or 5 members, and that's all there was. But they held an effective meeting. Consider that when you visit. If they still can carry out an effective meeting with a small number of members present, that's a great thing. They believe in what our agendas and our focus in our meetings should be. Okay, I have a couple scenarios. It depends on how much time we have. This is one of the scenarios. So I described attending a meeting where there was 4 or 5 people there. If you were the area director, and we're going to work in groups, and I'd like to get a few ideas when we're done. If you're the area director and you have noticed in the performance report that there are 8 or 10 members, you go to the meeting, only 5 people are in the meeting, so you realize that this must be a club that has an issue with membership. Either in retention, probably in both, retention and recruitment. As an observer now, as an area director, think about these questions that you might ask the officers or their members, and then what suggestions you think you would have. you could, in great groups of 2 tables, turn around and talk about these things, and then we'll come back together in 5 minutes and see what we can come up for this.
I guess we're about 3 tables right now. So we're just discussing.
Okay, 3 minutes. We have 3 minutes.
What question, when you come into a club that has full membership, what are the questions you ask?
Separate officers, which I sort of question we looked at the club program. After we realized that we kind of walked through.
Membership, or they all just want to. We have a club like that, but they have no access. So is it really useful time management? The way I would say, what are you doing to improve your membership? And they go, fine.
What I found with the new club, that's part of their, they'll tell you the best of your club. It's open-ended experiences, especially I'm not saying you need to grow your club, I'm just saying continuing to get out.
Find out the case of that club, I think that most clubs actually across the country. Find out just start with those, most of them.
Although they maybe, it also might, no one inside us feel what brought them to bad things. Maybe they just had a time when other people that knew about Toastmasters left. They were starting to go, where to go, what to do, what was the area director, having information from history. Okay, so that's interesting. Well, you said that so many members left, what sure what to do. Would you like some help in that?
Director, that's what you did.
1 more minute.
Okay, so you would like coach
I wasn't your coach.
finding out how they are area clubs. Joe got assigned. I think Joe is good. I did that.
The goal of Toastmasters is to help others, they're just helping themselves, essentially a click to buy.
Whether serving constituents, whether serving people in club, or you don't have to like outside.
As soon as Mike comes back, I'd like to have each group.
I would say, have you establish your targets for your club
Are built in settling do people know about it?
and what
Okay. Group 1, I would like one question that you might ask that club.
Right.
And Mike is going to write our responses on the board. One question you might ask that club.
What is your target audience?
Okay.
Or who is your target audience?
What question might you ask that club?
Are we supporting your needs?
Are we supporting your needs? What question you would ask?
What's your program? What are you
What's-
doing? Is it fun? Is it building? Is it educational?
Did all three?
Yep.
All right.
We're the super group.
So then again, it was,
What are your programs?
What's your program? Okay, your group.
Same thing. Believe the Distinguished Club program. The weakest club I have, he said it's just a checklist, and everybody else just stops. You need the group to believe the DCP.
believe in the GCP.
There you go.
Have you done moments of truth?
Have you done moments of truth? That's a good point. Okay, sorry, group 1. What one suggestion might you have for the club?
No, don't get that.
Okay, that's all right. Group 2, did you get to a suggestion?
We were talking about moments of truth also.
Exactly.
Moments of truth, okay. Did you have a suggestion?
Just wanted them back to do a demo meeting at some other business to advertise yourself.
Okay, have a demo meeting.
Ask for a coach, and also go to their executive officer meetings. Might find out they don't have them. But then if you're saying, when's your next meeting? I'd like to come, they're gonna pull themselves together and maybe you can get going.
That's very likely.
We agreed with the moments of truth, but we're also talking about finding the core people in that club to
Find the core
rally
people.
around.
Okay. All right.
That would be your receipt.
What's number 7 say?
Well, I'm trying to write it.
Executive.
Executive committee meeting. Attended.
Attend an executive committee meeting.
That's CMTE.
Okay. Thank you. I have 3 more scenarios that I'll share with you when this gets posted to the district website in my presentation, because there are several scenarios that you might run across. If you would go to the last slide, I will wrap this up.
That was it.
Okay. After this first initial visit, talk with the president or VPE, whoever you contacted before you went to the meeting, or both. Send them an email and give them feedback on the meeting. Just generic feedback, what you thought. Thank you for having me. I liked that you did A. Give them some feedback. Tell them what you observed. If you observe things that as a guest might go, I don't want to come back to this, or wow, I really do want to come back to this group. Give them that feedback. And ask them what you can do, what I can do as the area director to support their club, to help them grow their club, and help them to establish goals for the year if they need help, and how they can help their members. And be sure to let them know what you thought they did well in that meeting.